Hi everyone! In today's video, I wanted to talk about my experience being a freelancer and some of the struggles of being a freelancer that I don't think a lot of people talk about, and also a couple of tips and advice for overcoming those struggles or for success in being a freelancer. But before we begin, I wanted to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. You can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. To go along with the topic of this video, Skillshare has tons of classes on topics like art, design, and productivity. Lessons come with a class project that the teacher of the class can go over and give you their feedback on, which is very helpful when you are learning from home. And to go with the topic of this video, I recommend the class Productivity Habits That Stick Using Time Theming by Mike Vardy. It's a productivity class that shows you how to strategize your time, how to organize your emails, and to set up a calendar system that works for you. It's something that is extremely important as a freelancer, so if you're interested in checking out the class, the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, and after that, it's less than $10 a month. If you're a freelance artist, it's extremely important to continue learning from home to be able to learn new skills as well as productivity and time management. And Skillshare is the perfect place to learn from experts in the field. Thank you so much to Skillshare for being an ongoing patron of my channel and letting me put out videos for you guys. To begin with, I wanted to say that this is going to all be from my perspective as a full-time student and also somebody who is juggling design, illustration and studio art, and photography for what I do professionally. I have been taking 18 or 17 credit hours each semester, so my workload has been crazy compared to what it will be like when I'm just freelancing. And my college experience has gotten something along the lines of 2 semesters ago, so last year, I would pull 2 to 3 all-nighters a week. I would work until 3 a.m., take a nap until 4:30 a.m., wake up, drink a Red Bull, and continue working until I had class in the morning. So that's just my experience. This semester, again, I'm taking 17 credits. I have a school job as well as my own freelance work. So this is from somebody who always has her schedule packed and really has to be good about time management. So the first thing I want to talk about is consistency and jobs coming your way. As a freelancer, some months you'll be getting multiple job offers, and some months even your regular customers will not reach out to you. This has happened to me, especially with COVID, where art or marketing was something that was being cut back. So as a response to this, it's important to be timely in your response to offers and to communicate with your clients. As a freelancer, it's good to be pushy, so push for extended contracts instead of single project contracts, and follow up with clients that are usually regular when they're silent, even if they're going to respond saying that they don't have the budget to work with you that month or that they're not looking for work at the moment. Always leave it open-ended, saying that you'd still love to work with them or that you're open to work with them in the future. Oftentimes, if you are easy to communicate with, companies and brands will still reach out to you when they do have a budget to work with you if you've had history. Secondly, because jobs are not guaranteed or scheduled, some months will have an overload of work and your private and personal life will be imbalanced because of it. It's something that's pretty unfortunate about being a freelancer, but until you can guarantee a steady income, which is pretty late in a freelancer career, some months you'll have to sacrifice personal life and balance for extra jobs that can hold you over when you don't have a lot of clients. So as a freelancer, you have to have balance in the months where you have many clients. Sometimes I personally try to accept as many clients as possible, even if that means my schedule will be completely horrible and I'm going to be losing my mind because of how much work I have to do that month. That is, to me, more profitable than turning down offers and not building up my savings for months where there's crickets on the end of the line and I don't really have steady client work to do. The good news is that being a freelancer, the months where you don't have clients reaching out to you, you can personally push your own products, your Patreon, your shop, your YouTube. You can focus on your own brand instead of having to work for somebody else. But that being said, it's going to bring in less income than client work will. It's unfortunate that you do have to compromise on your personal life as a freelancer, and I don't believe that it is necessarily psychologically healthy or healthy for your relationships, but that's just something that does come with being a freelancer. And the more you work, the more you're known in the industry and you build relationships with brands and have a guaranteed steady income, the less you have to compromise on your personal life. But to begin with, it's just the truth of the matter that you do have to sacrifice a lot of your personal time and your relaxing time with family or your partner, and that's not fun. The third thing I want to talk about is pricing. Pricing yourself can be a huge struggle of being a freelancer. Communicating with a client, not knowing what their budget is, and oftentimes it's really difficult to talk about money in the first place, since a lot of people want a project and are kind of avoidant when they tell you their budget. Sometimes their budget is way too small for what your worth is. So my advice to you would be to know your worth as a designer. I mean that in both an inspirational way and also in a rational, pragmatic way. You should know what your skill set is and what it's worth. If you're not that great of an artist objectively, you're not going to be able to charge as much as an artist with a huge skill set or somebody with a big audience. Don't settle for less unless you can get a benefit from the project that isn't monetary. There's 3 situations for how much you're paid when you're working on a project. The first is exactly what it's worth. It's a project that you don't dislike or you don't particularly love, but the client is paying you the amount that you are worth for that project. A justification for being paid less than you are worth is if you are going to work on a project that is getting you involved in a certain industry that's hard to break into, or you want to work with a specific client to have them on your portfolio. Those are situations where you would personally want to work on that project. So you could accept less payment because while you're working on the project, the quality of your time when you're working on it will be much higher, and it's something that you genuinely want to do. It is completely fine to accept less payment in those situations. The third situation would be if you have a client that you do not want to work with, you've worked with them before and they're paying, or you know that you don't want to work on this project, you can charge a much higher price than you usually would for that project to make up for the inconvenience of working with that client. If they do not accept, if the price is too high for them, then in a sense, good riddance. You didn't want to work with them anyway. But if they do accept, you are definitely making a lot more money working on the same project than working for somebody that you're not very happy to work with. Of course, in all situations, you should still be kind, pleasant, and responsive to all of your clients. You want to build a good name for yourself as a designer, and you don't want to be hard to work with in general. But it is true that you don't have to love every single project you work on, and you can definitely find a niche in the industry for yourself. So you don't have to feel pressured to work on projects that you really hate. However, it is a good idea to charge higher for a project that is inconvenient for you. The next thing I want to talk to you is being your own manager. And that's a huge struggle, both because you have to communicate with clients as well as set up your own deadlines and schedule. You are your own boss. You're not going to have anybody telling you what to do and when to do it, what your deadlines are, and you're not going to have a higher power to look to like scold you if you don't do well. I mean, that could be your clients, but they're just not going to work with you if you're not on time with them. So of course you want to avoid that. You don't want to be late with your projects. I have definitely been late with some of mine, and it has been extremely embarrassing and something I've learned from, hopefully. But being your own manager is difficult. You will have to communicate with your own clients, make sure to respond to them in a timely manner, and to set up meetings to schedule with them and to remember your own deadlines. As your own manager, it's up to you to have discipline to work. It is extremely easy to sleep in all day or watch Netflix and procrastinate if you don't adhere to your own schedule and goals, and that's the difficulty of working from home and for yourself. You can just not be feeling it that day and decide to take the day off, and I definitely do that. I think that it's important to know your limitations, so maybe one day you just genuinely could not work, and that's okay to take the day off for yourself. However, there's some days where you might just be feeling lazy or unmotivated, and it's up to you to discipline yourself and keep your schedule in check, knowing your goals and making sure that you can accomplish those goals that day. A good way to be successful in this time management is setting up checklists. You can make yourself goals for the week and then break up those goals into milestones to complete in each day. And lastly, to reward yourself. Rewards are important motivation for when you're working for yourself. So you can either actually go above and beyond and go get yourself coffee or food or spoil yourself, or you can take something that you regularly love to do, like maybe you love playing video games, and reward yourself by playing after you finish the tasks for the day. Moving something that you enjoy to the end of your workday can be big motivation for you to finish your milestones and your goals set for that day, because you have something to look forward to at the end of the day. And if you have a clear delineation between your workday and your personal relaxing time, that can also be good for your mental health and your psyche. And the last thing I want to talk about is something that happened to me for this painting. Is you might have bad art days. Sometimes you have a strict schedule and deadline, which is what I had for this video, because it is sponsored, and you will be physically incapable of creating what you need to. This painting took me 7 or 8 tries of recording, starting new sketches, painting, and I was so frustrated that I was crying at the end of this. I had been trying to paint a simple digital portrait for 3 days, and I hadn't gone out of the house or relaxed at all because I was so stressed about this and trying to work on it. So yesterday I started crying. I was just feeling all sorts of not good. I decided to take a really long walk and a short jog to clear my head, and I came back with a refreshed perspective because I was able to get away from sitting on my computer for 3 days straight, not going outside and getting some fresh air and doing a little bit of exercise, and that helped me get in the proper headspace to be able to put out something that I was at least okay. My advice for you is to do what you need to refresh and to put yourself into the proper headspace for work. If that does not work, if exercise or changing up what you're doing, taking a short break does not work, you can be creative and try a new medium or subject if you're stuck. That sometimes works for me, but unfortunately I didn't have the time to record a traditional painting, and I wanted to work on a digital painting. It just wasn't working out for me, so I had that parameter. But if you have the possibility, you can always try a new medium or subject matter, and that can help you break out of your rut. Sketching also always helps, like doodling, writing out notes, but mainly stepping away from your computer and getting some fresh air always helps me out a lot. I have so much more to talk about. I have more struggles of being a freelancer and money struggles that I could talk about, or budgeting, taxes, the difference between working with online versus in-person clients, and how to set up more milestones with clients. But if you're interested in a part 2, please let me know down in the description. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you're a freelancer, what your experience has been like, if you relate to any of this. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more videos because I've been putting them out pretty regularly. And thank you so much to Skillshare for partnering up with me and being the absolute best. Please check them out. The link will be in the description for the free trial. Watch the productivity class if you want some more tips on how to schedule your time out. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.